Guys, welcome to the J. Scott Outdoors podcast. Today I've got my friend Daniel Franco of Burnt Timber Outfitters, born and raised Heber, Arizona. Daniel, how you doing?
Doing great, man.
It's always great to talk to you. We are about a week away from the draw deadline for applications for Arizona deer next Tuesday, I believe June 6th. And I wanted to call and get conditions up there in your country, up in the rim country, 3C, 4B, that country up there. How are things looking?
It's looking pretty good, actually. We had a pretty good winter, had quite a bit of winter moisture. Not a ton of snow, but enough to just kind of keep it going. The north face of basically 3C, all that along the rim country, it held quite a bit of snow. We had quite a bit of snow in the higher elevations, even like around Forest Lakes. They got hammered with snow this year, which was great. It started to melt off and kind of do as it normally does, and of course then the winds kick up and started to dry everything out. But we actually just had about a week of kind of unusual late May moisture that hit us. We had about a week of little rainstorms that just here and there that kind of came through, and it was awesome. It's something we haven't had in quite a while. It almost seemed a little bit monsoonal there for a while, but got some rain on the ground, and grass is greening up, and yeah, it looks really, really good.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Obviously, we're talking deer, but we have elk coming up. Was it one of these winters where it stayed cold quite a bit and it's actually taken it a long time to green up? Or no, you would say the opposite, that it melted off and greened up good and early? Because, as you know, Daniel, but maybe some of the people listening don't, if it stays real cold and it doesn't green up, they don't get started right out on green feed right away. I'm curious your thoughts with the green up and the timing.
I think the timing was good. It did stay cold, kind of coming through February and into that first probably couple of weeks of March. But by the second week of April, I mean, we were already starting to see quite a bit of green grass coming up. You could be driving through the woods and start to see green patches. So I think it was very timely. It did stay cooler. In fact, to be honest, it has stayed kind of cooler, clear up, through this first part, even to the middle part of May. We were kind of getting a couple little freezes and getting down into the low 30s, even into the first couple of weeks of May. So, but even with that said, it really started to green up. I think it was timing. I think timing was perfect. And now it's just with that little bit of rains that we got there in May, it really took off and looks phenomenal right now. So,
okay, let's talk 3C deer. You guys have an archery hunt. You have a rifle hunt. I believe they got rid of the youth hunt. 3C, for a handful of years was really kicking out and producing some really good deer. Pushing 200. I know you guys shot some that are around the 200, just over 200 inch type deer. And that's phenomenal. My question is where are we at right now with the forecast and what you think in that cycle, of 200 inch deer? Is 3C still there? Is it down a little bit? Is it up a little bit? Where are we at?
Well, so first of all, I'm one of those guys that, I just don't think that 3C has ever been labeled as a 200-inch deer type of unit. I think genetically, typically we just don't produce those types of bucks that often. There's the needle in the haystack, and there's the exception to the rule that has hit the dirt here and there. But typically, I just don't think we're a 200-inch producing unit here in 3A3C. With that said, we have killed some, we've seen some, and it seems like every year or two there's a 200, a 205, even up to 210 that um, hits the dirt and kind of surprises us. But I think overall in genetically, I mean, would it surprise me if a 200-inch deer was killed this year in 3C? No. Do I anticipate there being a 200-inch deer? There could be, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's not.
Okay.
So I think, just typically we produce those, 180 to 190 inch type bucks. That's typically kind of our top end, with the occasional exception of something jumping up into the 200-inch mark.
If they were to cut the tags in half, do you think there would be a lot more 200-inch deer? I mean, is it a function of there's just a smidge too many deer being killed, or is it truly a genetic issue?
I think it's a little of both. I think if they did cut the tags, it would definitely help. I mean, the biggest key, in my opinion, would be just getting the age class, and they're trying to manage 3A3C as an alternative management unit, and trying to target those older age class deer, but inevitably, I mean, we get young bucks that are in that 160 to 170 inch range that are 3-year-olds, and they stand by the road and they get whacked.
Yeah.
And I think that bucks like that, if they had another year or 2 or 3, that potentially they could reach that, if they had the right genetics. So I think it's a little of both. I think genetically, we just typically don't produce those types of deer. On the flip side, I think if we were to let some of these other bucks grow up and actually get the age class on them that they need to reach their maximum potential, then yeah, we probably could see a few more 200-inch deer.
Let's talk about the archery first. They're in 3A, 3C, very limited tags.
Mm-hmm.
What's someone's expectations? Obviously, if you've got someone like you that's born and raised there and knows where to go, but let's talk to the guy that maybe doesn't know it very well. What are his expectations or her expectations for that hunt?
Right. So I know we've talked about this in the past, and I think even on previous podcasts I've discussed this. So the 3A, 3C archery this year has 65 tags, so very limited number of tags. The biggest problem with the 3A, 3C archery hunt is because our deer are on kind of that southern Arizona cycle as far as when they shed, when they start to grow, when they rub, and when they rut. The archery hunt typically is a little bit early in their growing stage. A lot of the bucks are still growing, still packing it on during the archery hunt, and potentially can pack on another 5 to 10 to who knows how many inches after the archery hunt has even started to wind down. So a lot of the bucks that are hunted and get killed and harvested during that archery hunt are a little bit underdeveloped. They're still growing. They're still balled up pretty good. Some aren't. Some are further along, it seems like, than others. But I would say as an overall average, the consensus is that a lot of the bucks are still growing. The archery hunt starts that third week of August, runs through I think this year it ends on the 14th of September. We won't start to see most of our 3C bucks start to rub until the very end of September, even up through the first week of October. So because of that, they're a little undergrown. So you kind of have to take that into consideration when you're talking about size and growth and whatnot. But typically, I still think that a guy can, if he hunts hard, does the scouting, I think you can find a 180-inch type buck and harvest him if everything goes right.
Okay. And then talk about the rifle hunt, the dates, timing, your thoughts for this season.
So the rifle hunt, the October rifle hunt, so they have an October and a December, but pretty much the October, so it's got 100 tags, and that's the one that we've had the best luck on. It's a hunt that we absolutely love. It starts the last week of October, runs for 10 days. Um, it's in no way, shape, or form a rut hunt or even a pre-rut. All the bucks are still in their summer pattern. All the bucks are still together, which to us is better. You don't have bucks traveling and stuff like you would on a pre-rut hunt, but they're easier to locate. With some summer scouting and early fall scouting, typically we can get right back in there, find the bucks that we're looking for, and then it's just a matter of closing the gap and getting them shot. So great hunt. Like I said, we've had phenomenal success on that hunt. We absolutely love it. Um, it's a great hunt.
What about the December?
So the December hunt, it's kind of that wild card, and I'll be honest, they've only done it for 2 years, and we're still kind of waiting to see if it is everything that it's cracked up to be, or if it's just kind of
I mean, they should be
just
rutting,
not
shouldn't they?
quite there. Well, yes, and typically what we've seen the last 2 years is they will start to rut there around the middle of December, and typically about the start of the hunt. But it still seems like the bigger, more mature bucks that we know about, but we're just not getting killed in October, should be showing up and running around, just rut crazed and out of their minds and doing stupid stuff. But we've still kind of yet to see that in the last 2 years. So it's kind of one of those where it's an absolute fun hunt. It's a great hunt for seeing lots of deer, for seeing lots of bucks. But as far as quality, it just seems like it's missing something on that quality end. Whether those bucks just aren't there, whether we're losing some to the reservation because of the snows, or whatever the case. But it's still a great hunt. I mean, absolutely no problem in going out and killing an upper 170s to mid 180s buck on that December hunt. Just a super fun hunt, lots of action, lots of deer, but only 10 tags. So that also, I'm sure, plays into how fun and exciting that hunt can be with just very, very little hunting pressure.
Do some of those deer leave? Because it sounds like the caliber of deer you're hunting on the earlier rifle hunt is about the same as December hunt, which would tell me that some of those bucks maybe drop off and go to the res and go rut down there.
Yes, yeah. So we've had better success on the October hunt, than what we've seen on the December hunt. To be honest, a lot of the bucks that we've seen get killed in December are bucks that we've passed in October and either wanted them to get another year on them or whatever, and they end up getting harvested in the December hunt. But a lot of the bucks, from what we've noticed over the years, a lot of bucks that are in that higher elevation, anything in that 7,000 feet or higher, as soon as we start to get snow, and especially because that the whole north side of basically the 300 road is all north facing. So as soon as it snows, that snow stays there and it doesn't melt. And those deer just don't like it. It's cold on their feet. They're pretty thin skinned. I know a lot of people think, oh, mule deer love the snow and they want to be right in the middle of it in a blizzard. But from what we've seen, they do not like to be in that snow. So some will move down, but we do lose quite a few deer to the Fort Apache Indian Reservation. As soon as you top over the rim, now everything is south facing and the snow's melting off quicker. It's warmer. They're in the sun and they tend to head south and get warm versus sit in the cold. So,
Okay. Any of those other hunts around there, 4A, 4B, 1, 3A, any of those mule deer hunts worth a rip at all?
there's just very, very limited pockets in a lot of those. One's still doing okay, but as far as a general consensus of the unit and just the unit size, the quality's just not there.
Yeah.
But you can find little pockets. Same with 4B. Same with even 3A. There are some pretty small pockets that you can find some really good bucks in. There's a little bit of private that's producing some really good bucks. So it just depends. There's not a lot, but there are some very small pockets that are still producing some pretty big bucks.
It's about time for you to draw another strip tag, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Huh?
I don't think so. You got to put in for it before you can draw it, don't you?
Yeah, I guess.
Sounds like it's about time for you to draw a strip tag.
Yeah, I'm closer than I was last year, I think.
Uh,
I do want to ask you what your thoughts are since I have you about elk in 3C this year, and then I'll let you go. What are you anticipating for the archery hunt, and is it muzzleloader or early rifle this year?
it's early rifle.
What are you thinking? How good do you think 3C is going to be this year for elk?
I I think it's going to be great. I mean, just based on the last couple of years, I mean, we've just kind of slowly been building moisture and building feed. This year has been no different, and with what we've got going right now, it seemed like to me that the bulls maybe shed a little bit earlier this year than normal. I don't know if that was because of the moisture, the snowpack, rains, whatever. I'm not sure, but they started to shed and started to grow right at the time when the green grass started to show up. So I think the feed was there. It was a cold winter, but we didn't. A lot of our elk go to the reservation. They go elsewhere, so it's not like we
They're
had any winter
browsing on
kill
those
whatsoever.
south-facing slopes. You didn't have any
Ab-
winter kill, nothing like that.
absolutely no, absolutely zero winter kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Are they out to their
yeah.
fourth point? I mean, what are you seeing right
They
now?
some to their fourth, some even to their fifth and main beam.
Okay.
So already starting to grow back good. Some pretty good bottom ends. And yeah, just green grass now until the time our monsoons start. I'm anticipating an absolute great year. I don't see any reason. My opinion is if the bull has the genetics and he has the age, he's going to grow it this year. There's absolutely no reason to show any signs of drought or short or anything like that. If he's got the genetics, he's going to grow it.
Awesome. Want to take just a second here to thank the sponsors of the podcast. I want to thank GoHunt.com. Guys, it's Memorial Day sale at the Go Hunt Gear Shop. Go check them out. A lot of stuff's 50% off. Also, if you want to sign up for the Explorer maps, just do Memorial 50 and you actually get $50. You get 50 back. So in essence, signing up for Explorer maps right now is free. Check out GoHunt.com. Obviously, the Insider's a phenomenal tool there. KUIU.com, KUIU Ultralight Hunting. That's the ultralight hunting gear that I wear on all of my hunts. Go check them out at KUIU.com. You've got Lathrop and Sons Boot Company if you want to get custom Synergy footbeds, and the Elite, the Encompass, or the Mountain Hunters. Check them out at lathropandsons.com. Phonescope.com, use the JScott23 promo code and you get a 10% discount. And I want to thank the sponsors for their sponsorship of this podcast. Daniel, it's always great having you on the podcast. I'm looking forward to seeing your elk stuff this year. And thanks for telling us about the deer. I want to give you a chance to let the listeners know how they can get a hold of you or follow you. So why don't you do that now? And thanks for coming on.
You bet, Jay. So best way is probably our Instagram. That's the one that we tend to stay up on the most. You can follow us on Instagram at Burnt Timber Outfitters. We also have our website, www.burnttimberoutfitters.com. And on there, we've got our phone numbers. We've got emails. So if you have questions, you have, want to know, how many points and what to do with your points, feel free to shoot us an email. Feel free to give us a call. We love to talk hunting. So, shoot us a text, give us a call. It's our cell phones on there for me and Mike. So reach out to us and we'll see if we can help you and point you in the right direction.
Hey, try not to light your hair on fire on the 4th of July fireworks.
You want me to write your name on one and light it off?
Yeah, I do. Send me a video of it.
All right, I
Daniel
will.
gets the pleasure of getting to set off fireworks there for the town, and I think he really likes it. I think
Well,
he's a little bit of a pyro. If
oh, I'm not a little bit. We've got a group of guys. We're all a bunch of crazy maniacs when it comes to Fourth of July, but we are actually the largest hand lit fireworks show in the state of Arizona. So
fantastic.
yeah, we have a great time. That's for sure.
Usually the 5th of July, I get some cool videos, so make sure you send them again this year.
All right, we'll do.
All right, buddy. Take care. God bless. Okay.
You bet. Thank you, Jay.
Bye.